This is the review for somebody who lives in a much older state than I am. And he's come from an even older state. So, knowing that he has come from a much older state than me, I am going to make the assumption that he is free to play. His power is not bad at 515, and he's already a Fire Crystal 9 furnace. So I think what he's done is he's prioritized troop training and maybe hero gear, and that's why he's at 515. And he has not prioritized chief gear. So what I would suggest he do is he start focusing some on chief gear. Hero gear is super important. It really makes a difference in things like arena. And it does make a difference with your stats when you call rallies and things of that nature. But we can't neglect our chief gear. We kind of have to do it all at once, which can be very difficult when you're free to play. So you kind of have to bring up one for a while and then pause on that and bring up the other for a while, because it's almost impossible as a free to play player to bring them all up at one time. So looking at his gear, his infantry gear is higher and stronger than his other two. Looking at this, I can see that his infantry jacket and his infantry ring are both stronger than the right side pants and staff. I don't know if that's because he is in the middle of upgrading or if he is planning on upgrading those even higher than what they are. Because his Lancer gear is both mythic or gold 1-star on both sides, I think he upgrades them evenly, and he just happened to have upgraded those last, and that the next thing he would do would be to upgrade the right. That's an assumption I'm making, and if so, then he's really on the right track as far as his chief gear is concerned. The only thing that I might suggest is that he get his ring and his staff to T1 1 or 2 stars before he upgrades his infantry anymore, and then his Lancer gear to T1, and then from then on I would upgrade infantry, marksman, Lancer. Moving forward, I would keep them all evenly spaced. So his chief gear, the infantry would be red 1-star. His marksman and gear would be T1 2 stars, T1 2 stars. His Lancer gear would be T1. And then he would upgrade them all 1 or 2 stars. So it would go infantry red 2 stars, infantry red 2 stars, T1, or he might want to actually go to T2. Like it is a couple levels below, and we do want infantry to be stronger, but we don't want to neglect the marksman gear. So that's kind of up to him. He could either I think saying T1 2 or 3 stars is fine, but I wouldn't let it get any further below. Like to me personally, I think it's too far below his infantry gear right now. I would like to see it come up a little, but as far as like how he's upgrading, there's not an issue with that. Next, you're going to talk about his charms, and we start with marksman. And so we can see that it's his marksman charm, his ring has 555, and over here it's 444. So, again, is it because he's upgraded the left side and he hasn't upgraded the right side yet? Or is I'm going to guess that's what he's done, because if we look at the Lancers, again 555, and then over here it's 444. So, we're not seeing that the right side is at like 2 or 3 charm, like 1, 2, or 3 charms. So it looks like he's doing the right side after, like that's what he does second, similar to what he did with the chief gear. Then we look at his infantry charms, and these are 866 and 666. So, we've had some discourse in the past about whether your infantry should have stronger charms than your marksmen. I believe they should not. I believe the strongest charms should be on your marksmen. It makes your marksmen healthier. Your marksmen have a naturally lower health stat than your infantry does. So it makes your marksmen a little sturdier. They're easy to kill in general, and so we want to make them a little healthier, and charms do that. And they are also your killing machine, and so we want them to have really high lethality. We want them to we really want to promote that skill of theirs and make them to where they're an even stronger killer. Now, there are some who would rather have a really strong infantry. That's that really strong front line that makes it difficult to get past and kill your marksmen. And that is a valid point. The other thing is infantry has a slightly lower lethality score than marksmen. And so you're bringing them up so they are, more adept at killing. And that's not wrong, right? Like, it's not wrong. It's just a different tactic and a different approach. So for me, I would say he should focus some more on his marksman charms and bring those up to 8s or 7s all the way across, and then bring his lancer charms up to 6s or 7s, and then moving forward he can upgrade them all: marksman, lancer, infantry. That would be my recommendation. If he does that, he's going to see his bear scores improve. If he's been focused on hero gear, that's going to give him more essence stones if he's, getting a higher bear score. I don't know what his hero gear looks like, because this is the extent of what I have to look at. So, that would improve his bear score. It's going to improve his overall attack. And if you look at any report, your infantry is not the ones doing all the killing. So that's going to be your lancers and your marksmen. And so ensuring that the lancers and the marksmen have a stronger lethality means that they'll kill even more people, which will help with events like Crazy Joe. And the reason I would have his lancers be the second level in charms is, and I've talked about this in the past, they are second to your marksmen when it comes to kills. And when you're doing something like defense, you're relying heavily on your lancers, because you are typically doing a 60-40 0 ratio, where it's 60% infantry, 40% lancers. So you're relying on those lancers to kill a lot. So ensuring that they have that skill and that they're lethal is critical to success when you're defending. So the marksmen will help a lot with your attack. The lancers will help more with defense. It also helps with attack if you're using like a standard 50-20-30 ratio, then it's definitely going to help with attack as well. And then infantry, we don't want to neglect them. We don't want them to get too far behind, but them having lethality isn't as critical as marksman and lancer from the way I manage things and the way I approach things. If you are heavily infantry focused, that's not wrong. And it's 100% a valid choice. So if you have any questions, let me know.